thank you everybody. When Camilla rang me to ask, she wanted an engineer with experience in talking to politicians on persuading them not to go nuclear, and would I speak? So I said, okay, but I really thought that you don't need an engineer, you need a trained psychotherapist or a whole team of them to get these people off the drug addiction of serial, dangerous, risk-taking activities. Well, there you go. I decided to speak anyway. But the reason why I did is because, as Camilla said, I did actually present a Plan B, a non-nuclear energy scenario, to we're on a DEC NGO nuclear stakeholder forum. They do listen to non-nuclear community groups every 3 months or so. To his credit, Minister Hayes agreed to hear out a non-nuclear scenario before he considered Hinkley C. So hence I presented a Plan B. So I've only got a few minutes to try and give you a flavour of how these kind of debates can go, so here goes. I'll divide this into 2 parts. First, you have to wean them off the really dangerous drugs, yeah? And that's the kind of nuclear technologies of the future. But I'd also say, to keep this kind of gambling addiction going, I'll offer DEC a 5-card game as well. So there's 2 parts to this solution. Firstly, the hard drugs. Now these are the future Generation 4 nuclear power stations. They're so much better than the ones you're getting now. They eat their own waste, they're half the cost, they're proliferation resistant and all the rest of it. If they do everything they say on the tin, it'll be really fantastic. But this really does get a lot of politicians and institutions, a lot of the big institutions, engineering and science, all like this really kind of futuristic stuff. And their vision often includes a lot of nuclear for Britain, almost a global showcase for really jacking up nuclear around the world. So I say to that, on that Generation 4 stuff, it's not proven. We could have that debate in 2025, 2030. Let's just keep it real. You've got a 16 gigawatt Generation 3 uranium nuclear program. That's what's before us, up to 2030. Let's keep it up to 2030 and forget all that stuff. So secondly, I'd offer them 5 cards. There's 5 cards to play here. There's 3 non-nuclear, 3 low-carbon generating technologies. That's renewables. Hey! Thank you very much. Nuclear power. Gas with carbon capture and storage. Another one is electrical efficiency. That's the 4th card. And I would include combined heat and power in that. I know Camilla is very concerned, and it was on Newsnight talking about combined heat and power. District heating, Denmark, 53% of its electricity from combined heat and power. Britain, 7, flatlining. A 5th card is Osborne shale gas and climate targets or so last decade. Yeah? So here we go. How do we play the game? We say that this is the Plan B. You build renewables, no nuclear, and yes, you have to have some balancing gas. The more nuclear you build, if you build this 16 gigawatts, what you do is you reduce your gas demand, fair enough, but you really hit renewables because you need gas for balancing. Offshore wind is a particular kind of one would be particularly damaged in this scenario, and this is what Britain is proposing. What this government is proposing is to damage one of our best renewable resources and the industry, the British industry that goes with it, and that's jobs, that's the manufacturing supply, that's British designs of turbines, mainly offshore, and all the exports that go with that. And so that's what would happen. So, but the DEC officials will basically say, well, if you don't have nuclear, then you're limiting your chances. You'll then have to have more gas and more CCS, and you lot don't like that, do you? Well, it's true that the NGOs have said, well, we don't particularly want a lot of gas or CCS. They say that they want a lot of electrical efficiency. So that's the electrical efficiency card play. But in a way, electrical efficiency is a difficult one. And it's best when negotiating with one's opposition to have a plan B. Even we should have a plan B. So I would say that if you don't get that electrical efficiency, and we should certainly try, we should keep it in the EMR policy, then we put, when we have a fallback position with carbon capture and storage. But don't put it on your gas, put it on your industrial sources and biomass. Then you can produce renewable gas and what's called carbon negative emissions. What carbon negative emissions, don't bother about that at the moment, just put it in the EMR policy and we can discuss that later. So there's a kind of plan B that they would have to listen to. It's non-nuclear, it would reach the carbon targets, and remember there's other people saying that electrical efficiency just won't get you there. The Committee on Climate Change, which was hopefully going to show us a low carbon future, shows us a low carbon future by jacking up electrical energy, and within that nuclear power. And so that's what you're up against. And so I'll just finish up by saying that a plan B, our plan B, is worthy of, they'll have to listen to that because it would work. It stacks up, the numbers work. It's as low cost, if not lower cost, than their best costs. It also gives us the option of saying to people around the world, such as Iran and Israel, do as we do, don't go nuclear. Do as Germany does, don't go nuclear. Finally, I've lost my cards completely. It basically says we have a plan B, and that's all we need. Keep renewables going and forget nuclear power. Sorry.